Life holds many mysteries. What's the ultimate meaning of it all? Why is American soccer called soccer and not football? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? But all of these mysteries pale in comparison to what is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. What is the deal with the Incredible Hulk's pants?
What?
How on earth do those things work? We want answers, and we're sure you do too. Let's dive into the science behind the Hulk's pants. The Incredible Hulk has been around since the character debuted in May of 1962. The character was co-created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and originally wasn't green, but gray. Additionally, it wasn't rage that transformed him into the jolly green giant we all know and love.
You're making me angry.
The transformation occurred when the sun set and nighttime arrived. But regardless of the manner of Bruce Banner's transformation into the Hulk, one question always plagued comic book readers: why exactly do the Hulk's pants stay intact when all other clothes fail? First and foremost, there's a more boring reason for this, and it has to do with the comics' code authority. You see, as much as Stan Lee might have wanted the Incredible Hulk to prance around buck naked in the early 1960s, it simply wasn't possible. The comics' code authority was vehemently opposed to nudity. Vehemently. Even the slightest hinting towards nakedness was frowned upon. So what if logic dictated that the Hulk shouldn't have any clothing? The comics code authority had spoken, and Stan Lee and Jack Kirby had to abide by those rules. In order to prove that they were on the level with the comics code authority, Lee and Kirby opted not to only give Hulk pants, but to make them purple. Why purple, you ask? Well, we are so glad you did. You see, purple and green sit on opposite sides of the color spectrum. Not only does it make for a pleasing image, but it would further emphasize to the comics code authority that the Hulk was indeed wearing pants. You simply couldn't miss them. And thus, the Hulk's legendary, invincible purple pants were born. And believe it or not, a comic book reader actually came up with an in-story justification for why Hulk's pants are purple. There was a period when Marvel Comics was handing out no prizes to any of their readers that could justify certain mistakes in their comics. The fan who won the purple pants explanation suggested that it all had to do with the gamma radiation the Hulk's body gave off. That radiation turned his pants purple. Make sense? Nope, but hey, we'll take it. But while we might know the reasoning behind the decision to give Hulk super pants, we still don't know how this is supposed to work. Turns out, Stan Lee came up with something resembling an explanation, and it makes sense, kind of. You're all familiar with Dr. Reed Richards, right, Mr. Fantastic? So when the Fantastic Four first began contending with their new powers, there was the question of how exactly their costumes would work. After all, the Human Torch bursts into flames, Mr. Fantastic does that whole stretchy thing, the Invisible Woman is, well, invisible, and the Thing is, a giant, angry rock man.
It's clobbering time! It's catchy, right?
What we're saying is that clothing isn't necessarily conducive to the Fantastic Four's powers. The solution? Mr. Fantastic came up with special outfits with quote-unquote unstable molecule fabric. This special fabric allowed the Fantastic Four the flexibility to demonstrate their new powers without their pesky clothes getting in the way. This is the explanation Stan the Man Lee provided. But even with that reasoning, he himself had to admit that he still didn't really understand how the Hulk's pants kept on. And if Stan Lee doesn't know, then does anyone actually know? The cinematic iterations of the Hulk went out of their way to at least try to give some justification for these mysterious pants. First, we have Ang Lee's Hulk. When Bruce Banner's sweatpants are obliterated by the Hulk's ever-growing form, the Army outfits him with special, stretchy purple pants to accommodate these changes. In 2008's The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton,
Hulk! Smash!
There's a visual gag involving Banner buying oversized stretchy pants in anticipation of his hulking out.
They were the stretchiest pair they had.
I'll take my chances.
But here's something else that demands explanation. So whenever Banner hulks out, he should lose everything, right? All of his clothes, whatever possessions he has on him, etc. And this is typically demonstrated in whatever aftermath scenes follow his hulking out. We usually see him all beat up and sweaty and shirtless. So like, why is it that he always seems to be fully clothed in the following scenes? Where does he get all those outfits? Turns out, a one-shot comic entitled Hulk Let the Battle Begin actually answered these questions. And those infamous purple pants are the key. In the comic, Banner explains that his purple pants contain a kind of survival kit stitched within the fabric. This kit includes a needle and thread, a debit card, and other useful items. He hitches a ride, withdraws some money from an ATM, and snags some new clothes and a room for the night. Huh. Well, we never thought that we needed that explanation, but now, there we have it. But now that we have it, we still aren't sure we needed it. Either way, thanks for providing it, Marvel. There you have it, folks. More information than you could ever possibly want to know about the Hulk's amazing purple pants. Are there any other fun facts that we might have missed? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and stay up to date with all the great content we're sending out daily